The desert was an endless sea of heat and silence, stretching wide beneath a sky so blue it seemed cruel. Every ridge of sandstone and every thorn of cactus standing like sentinels over a land that devoured the weak and tested the strong. A lone cowboy rode across it, shoulders slouched with weariness, hat brim drawn low to hide eyes hardened by years of dust, whiskey, and memories he would rather bury than face. His horse's steady gait carried him deeper into the wasteland, hooves drumming a rhythm that seemed to echo his pulse, slow and steady, but heavy with something unsaid. Out here, a man learned to live with silence, to measure his worth by the way he held himself when no one was watching, and he thought that was all this day would give him. Silence, dust, and the taste of his own solitude, until he saw her. She was seated on the ground, back straight, legs drawn, casually before her, as though she had chosen this harsh desert for her throne. And even from a distance, her presence seemed to command the air. She wore leather, worked with fringe and beads, clothing that seemed to both conceal and reveal, as though her very attire had been designed to remind a man he was looking at someone both untouchable and dangerous. Her hair, black as a raven's wing, spilled over her shoulders in waves that caught the sun, and her skin glowed bronze beneath the merciless light, as though she belonged more to this land than any man who dared to ride across it. When she lifted her gaze to him, her smile was sudden and sharp, the kind of smile that said she knew more than she let on, that she had already measured the man before her and found him wanting, or perhaps intriguing. The cowboy slowed his horse, suspicion stirring in his chest, though he couldn't have explained whether it was suspicion of her or suspicion of himself. Something in her eyes pinned him, a glimmer that was both playful and piercing, and before he could form words of his own, she tossed a sentence into the burning air, words that cracked like a whip, words that struck with the kind of boldness that left no room for retreat. Cowboy is the bulge between my legs. What draws you in? Is that why you act so odd? The sound of it was both scandalous and strangely innocent, more a challenge than an invitation, more a test than a taunt. The cowboy froze, the reins tightening in his hands, his jaw flexing as if wrestling with 1,000 unsaid replies. The desert held its breath. He dismounted slowly, boots sinking into the dust, his movements deliberate, as though every step were a choice carved into stone. When he reached her, he crouched low, eyes locked to hers, and instead of rebuke or retreat, he offered her his hands, not roughly, not as a captor, but gently, as if acknowledging that whatever this was between them, it was fragile, dangerous, alive. His voice came low and gravelly, threaded with both tension and reverence. "You know damn well it ain't the reason," he said, his tone a growl, softened by something deeper. "But maybe you like asking questions you already know the answers to." Her laugh was soft, musical, like water running where there should have been only dry earth, and she leaned forward just enough that he caught the scent of leather, dust, and wild sage clinging to her. "Maybe," she said, her eyes sparking, Or maybe I like seeing how a man holds himself when cornered. And with that, the desert once again became a stage, not for gunfights or duels, but for a different kind of battle. One fought with words, glances, and the unspoken truths that neither of them yet dared to name.